I never imagined a rusty old mailbox could spark a vendetta that would bury a neighborhood bully under an avalanche of her own bullshit. But that's exactly what happened when Karen Hargrove decided my quiet corner of suburbia wasn't up to her iron-fisted HOA code. One crisp autumn morning, I stepped out to grab the Wall Street Journal, only to find my custom-forged steel box, engraved with my initials, a gift from my board after closing a $50 million deal, yanked from its post and dumped unceremoniously in the community dumpster like yesterday's takeout. And the kicker? Taped to the side was a neon pink violation notice, scrawled in her passive-aggressive Sharpie. Non-compliant aesthetic. Relocated for uniformity. Complain to the board if you dare. Bitch, I wasn't just any resident. I was Alexander Voss, CEO of Voss Tech Industries, and that mailbox was the only damn thing grounding me in this McMansion hellhole after my divorce. She didn't know it yet, but she just declared war on a man who turns corporate takeovers into blood sports. What Karen didn't count on was how deep my patience ran, or how shallow hers would prove when I flipped the script. By noon that day, I'd already looped in my executive assistant, who rerouted every piece of junk mail, unsolicited promo, and returned a sender envelope from our Fortune 500 fortress straight to her address. But that was just the appetizer. Over the next 2 weeks, I orchestrated a symphony of suburban sabotage that left her front porch looking like a FedEx explosion site, all while she screamed bloody murder at HOA meetings I accidentally crashed via Zoom from my Gulfstream. It was petty? Hell yes. Cathartic? Like popping a champagne cork after a hostile bid. And when the dust settled, along with about 300 pounds of shredded paper and bent staples, Karen's reign of terror ended not with a bang, but with her sobbing on the evening news, exposed as the fraud she'd always been. You see, folks in Willow Creek Estates thought Karen was the queen bee, lording over us plebs with her clipboard and her chihuahua, named Regulation. But I knew better. I'd moved here 6 months ago, fresh off signing the papers on my ex-wife's alimony tsunami, looking for a slice of normalcy amid the chaos of boardrooms and buyouts. Willow Creek was supposed to be that cookie-cutter colonials, a pool that didn't leak, and neighbors who waved instead of whispering about your net worth. Instead, I got her a 250-pound powerhouse in elastic waist jeans and sensible orthotics, her face perpetually twisted like she'd just bitten into a lemon wrapped in barbed wire. Karen Hargrove, self-appointed HOA president, enforcer of the sacred covenants that dictated everything from lawn height, no taller than 2.5 inches, to holiday light wattage, under 500, lest we offend the power grid gods. It started small, the way these things do in American burbs. A welcome basket on my porch, store-bought muffins, and a laminated rulebook, delivered with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. We're all about community here, Mr. Voss, she'd cooed, her voice like gravel in a blender. Stick to the guidelines, and we'll get along just fine. I nodded, too buried in merger memos to care. But then came the citations, my Tesla's vanity plate, Voss 1, deemed flashy, my heirloom rosebushes invasive species because they dared bloom red instead of her approved pastels. I paid the fines, chalked it up to eccentric busybody syndrome. Hell, I dealt with worse shareholders. The mailbox was the line she crossed. I'd had it custom-made in Pittsburgh, heavy-gauge steel with a biometric lock for sensitive docs. Think NDAs and stock tips that could swing markets. It wasn't just mail. It was my fortress in a world of digital leaks. That Friday, after a red eye from Silicon Valley, I pulled into the driveway at dawn, suit rumpled, coffee thermos empty. No box, just a bare post, splintered like it had been pried by a crowbar. The dumpster? Overflowing with recycling and my goddamn lifeline. I fished it out, dents and all, and stormed next door. Karen answered in a moo-moo printed with tiny American flags. Irony at its finest. Her chihuahua, yapping like a smoke alarm. "Oh, Mr. Voss," she said, not even feigning surprise. The board voted unanimously. Your contraption was an eyesore. We have standards. Unanimously? The board was her milquetoast husband Ed, and 3 retirees too scared to vote against her bake sale vetoes. Standards? I shot back, voice low but laced with that CEO steel. You mean your personal vendetta because I skipped your potluck? Her eyes narrowed, that smug curl to her lip. This is about harmony. Sue me if you want. Oh, wait, with your fancy job? You probably will. She slammed the door, but not before the dog nipped at my cuff. I could have lawyered up, slapped an injunction on her HOA fiefdom faster than you can say class action. But where's the fun in that? No, this called for something biblical, Old Testament eye for an eye, with a modern twist of algorithmic vengeance. Back in my home office, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the cul-de-sac, I fired up my laptop. First call, to Lena, my EA, a pit bull and Louboutins who'd once rerouted a competitor's entire PR crisis to a dead-end inbox. Lena, baby, I need every scrap of corporate detritus we've got. Unsolicited catalogs, bounce-back investor kits, those go-dofful team-building seminar flyers from HR. And make it all return to sender, addressed to 1427 Elmwood Lane. She didn't ask why. She just laughed that throaty laugh and got to work. By Monday, the first wave hit. A courier van idled in her driveway, dumping 3 crates of glossy brochures. Unlock your potential with Vostek leadership retreats. All stamped return to sender, and no such recipient. Karen hauled them out in her bathrobe, face purple as she shredded them on the lawn. I watched from my blinds, sipping single-origin Ethiopian, feeling the first twinge of that sweet, forbidden schadenfreude. But it escalated quick. I tapped my IT crew next, script a bot to subscribe her to every spam list under the sun. Magazines? Check. Better Homes and Gardens? Guns and ammo for the irony. Even those sketchy erectile dysfunction mailers that made Ed avert his eyes at the mailbox. Newsletters from pyramid schemes, political PACs on both sides. Let her choke on the hypocrisy, and enough real estate flyers to paper her rec room. Word spread through the neighborhood group chat like wildfire. Anyone else getting weird mail? Typed Mrs. Patel from across the street. My porch is buried in crypto scams. I stayed silent, but inside, I was grinning like the Grinch who'd stolen Christmas. And redirected it all to Karen's door. She retaliated, of course. Posted a screed on the HOA forum. Certain residents think they're above the rules. Watch your backs. Fines incoming. Attached, photos of my offending mailbox, propped against my garage like a war trophy. The comments exploded, half pitying me, half egging her on. That's when the controversy ignited. Local news picked it up. Suburban mailbox heist. HOA drama or property rights battle. Channel 7 sent a perky reporter to my door. Mike thrust forward. Mr. Voss, is this vigilantism or justice? I played it cool, buttoned up in my Brooks Brothers. Look, I'm all for community standards. But when standards mean breaking into private property, that's not harmony. That's harassment. Cut to Karen, on her stoop, arms akimbo. He's a big shot, so throwing his weight around. We little people have to fight back. The internet ate it up. Reddit's r/malicious compliance lit up with threads. POV, you're the Karen who poked the tech bear. Memes of mailboxes with devil horns. Captioned HOA hell. My Twitter, or X, feed blew up, followers spiking as I dropped cryptic posts. When they move your line in the sand, build a wall of receipts. Suburban Siege. Sponsors slid into my DMs. Vostek stock ticked up 2% on the relatable CEO buzz. But Karen? She doubled down, the way bullies do when cornered. Called an emergency HOA meeting in the clubhouse. Live-streamed for transparency. I logged in from a client dinner in Chicago, muted at first, watching her pace like a caffeinated Wolverine. This man, Alexander Voss, is undermining everything we've built. He's flooding the neighborhood with trash mail out of spite. Gas from the folding chairs. Ed nodded vigorously, his comb-over wilting under the fluorescence. Then she unveiled her ace, forged emails, supposedly from me, threatening corporate retaliation if she didn't back off. Lies, all of it. Photoshopped headers, timestamps off by hours. The chat erupted. Karen, that's defamation. Call the cops. I unmuted. Karen, those emails are as fake as your sense of authority. But hey, if we're sharing, let's talk about that security cam footage from my Ring app. Click, shared screen. Grainy night vision of her, crowbar in hand, wrenching my mailbox free at 2 a.m. The room went pin-drop silent. Her face? Priceless. Mouth agape. Mascara starting to run. That's edited, she sputtered. Prove it. I didn't have to. The retirees were already whispering, phones out, dialing their lawyers. By meeting's end, motions flew. Impeachment vote, damages assessment. She adjourned in a huff, but the damage was done. Her throne was cracking. That night, the real payload dropped. Lena's team had outdone themselves. 300 pounds, palletized and shrink-wrapped, delivered via flatbed at 6 a.m. sharp. Envelopes from every corner of corporate America. Bounced board packages, rejected RFP responses, stacks of those godforsaken holiday cards from vendors I ghosted. All addressed to Karen Hargrove, HO, a enforcer extraordinaire, with my old mailbox address crossed out in red pen. The truckers unloaded it right on her driveway, a mountain taller than her golf cart. Neighbors gathered, coffee mugs in hand, murmuring as she burst out in rollers and a housecoat. What the hell is this? Return to sender. The lead guy shrugged, handing her the manifest. Sign here, ma'am. She refused. He left it anyway. By 8 a.m., it was viral. Drones buzzing overhead, TikToks racking views, Caramel Mountain trending nationwide. Reporters swarmed. She barricaded inside, but not before one caught her heaving boxes into the street, sobbing, "This is terrorism. He's ruining me." Ruining? Nah, exposing. The fallout was a masterclass in karmic poetry. A board ousted her that weekend. Unanimous this time, no notes. Ed filed for divorce Monday morning, citing irreconcilable mail disorders. Turns out he'd been the one shredding the ED spam, humiliated for months. The neighborhood sued her for the violation costs. My legal team countersued for property damage and emotional distress. Yeah, I milked it. Boss Tech? We spun it into a PR goldmine, standing up to bullies, one mailbox at a time. Stock hit all-time highs. I keynoted at CES on navigating neighborhood negotiations. Karen? Last I heard, she's holed up in a rental across town, blacklisted from every HOA in the county. Sells Tupperware online now. Her ex-bio, a sad plea. Lesson from a lawn warrior. DM for reps. No one does. Me? I installed a new mailbox, titanium, solar-powered, with facial recognition. And every morning, as I grab my journal, I raise a mug to the empty spot where her empire stood. Suburbia ain't so bad when the Karens learn their place. But wait, that's not the end. Not by a long shot. You think a little mail mound would break her? Karen Hargrove was forged in the fires of PDA bake sales and zoning appeals. She bounced back meaner, plotting from the shadows like a Bond villain in orthopedic shoes. 2 months post-meltdown, I got whined through the group chat, anonymous complaints flooding the new board about my excessive drone surveillance, my ring cams upgraded post-heist. Then the flyers, slick, professional ones, slipped under windshields at the community picnic. Vostech, corporate greed in our backyard. Boycott the bully CEO. Her handiwork, no doubt. The grammar was too viciously precise. I let it simmer, playing the long game. Hired a PI, discreet, ex-Fed type named Rico who billed by the shadow. He tailed her to dingy motels and late-night Kinkos. Piecing together her revenge arc turns out, she teamed up with a disgruntled ex-employee of mine, some mid-level drone I'd pink-slipped during the layoffs. Together, they were doxing board members, stirring shit on Nextdoor with sock puppet accounts. Willow Creek, ruled by the rich, one post read, with my Tesla circled in a grainy photo. Controversy brewed again, local blogs calling it a class war in cul-de-sacs, pitting everyman HOA heroes against tech overlords. The hook? It almost worked. My board caught wind, twitchy about optics. Alex, this could tank the Q2 earnings call. My CFO grumbled over scotch at the club. Damage control? I swirled my glass, ice clinking like tiny guillotines. Nah, escalation. Q Phase 2 of Operation Return to Sender. I went nuclear but surgical. Leaked her emails, not forged. Real ones Rico swiped from a hack coffee shop Wi-Fi. There she was, ranting to her ex-employee ally. That smug bastard thinks he can bury me in paper? I'll bury his career in scandal. Dig up dirt on his divorce, affair rumors, whatever sticks. Boom. Front page in the Willow Creek Gazette. Ousted HOA Prez plots smear campaign against local CEO. Interviews with anonymous sources. Me, whispering through proxies, painted her as unhinged, a threat to property values. The ex-employee, fired on the spot, sued for breach. Karen's Tupperware gig, customers ghosted. Her online store tanked under 1-star reviews. Sells bowls, stirs pots of hate. 0 out of 10. She cracked publicly at a town hall. Microphone in hand, voice warbling. He's destroying my life. I was just trying to keep our neighborhood beautiful. The crowd? Crickets, then jeers. Someone yelled, "Beautiful like your mail pile?" Laughter rippled like dominoes. But the real gut punch came private. Rico delivered the dossier. Photos of her in a threadbare apartment, surrounded by unopened boxes from the old house. Mementos of her glory days. Ed had taken the Chihuahua in the settlement. Her kids, grown and estranged, posted passive-aggressive birthday cards. "Hope you're finding peace, Mom." She was alone, bloated not just from the weight, but the bitterness, scrolling hate threads at 3 a.m. I could have stopped there, victory lap, delete the file. But pettiness is a drug, and I was hooked. Final touch. A single package, hand-delivered by courier. Inside, a custom mailbox, pint-sized, engraved, Karen's complaint box. "For all your unwanted bullshit." And a note. "Return to sender, permanently." Evie. She didn't open the door. Courier reported it thudding against the frame, unanswered. Next day, her profile vanished from socials. Rumor has it she skipped town, heading for a Florida condo where HOAs are optional and Karens fade into the wallpaper. Willow Creek healed. New board, laxer rules, block parties without the clipboard patrol. Me? I sold the house 6 months later, traded suburbia for a penthouse downtown. Cleaner lines, no covenants, just the hum of the city and the occasional echo of that first, fateful thud. Yet in quiet moments, board meetings dragging, mergers merging into monotony, I miss the thrill. Not the hate, but the raw, unfiltered clash of wills. Karen taught me that even titans have chinks, and sometimes the best armor is a well-aimed paper cut. Suburbia, where the stakes are low, the grudge is eternal, and revenge tastes like justice with a side of spite. If you're ever in Willow Creek, ask about the Mailbox massacre. They'll laugh, pour you a beer, and whisper, "Don't mess with the CO next door." The penthouse life suited me like a bespoke suit, sleek, elevated, zero nosy neighbors critiquing my minimalist decor. But Willow Creek lingered like a bad aftertaste, especially when the invites rolled in for the annual block party. "Come back, Alex. We miss your famous ribs." The new HOA Prez texted, all emojis and earnestness. Miss me? Or miss the drama I dragged in their ratings? I declined, cited a conference call with Tokyo, but truth was I couldn't shake the itch. Rico's final report had painted too vivid a picture. Karen, unraveling in that sad sack rental, her empire reduced to eviction notices and late-night infomercials. Part of me, the corporate shark, savored the kill. The rest, human, maybe wondered if I'd overfed the beast. Fate, that cheeky bastard, had other plans. 3 months post-penthouse, my assistant buzzed me during a pitch to VCs. "Sir, there's a delivery from Florida." I waved off the suits, curiosity piqued. Down in the lobby, a scrawny kid in a USPS polo handed over a battered priority mailbox. No return address. Inside, a thumb drive and a single sheet. Her handwriting, shaky but unmistakable. "You win. Watch this. Then delete me." The drive? A video file time-stamped last week. I plugged it into my secure laptop, alone in the executive washroom, heart thumping like a rookie trader's first bell. Grainy webcam footage. Karen, gaunt now, cheeks hollowed under the harsh ring light. No makeup armor. "Alexander," she rasped, voice stripped of its bark. "I know you're watching, you smug son of a bitch. This is my confession, for the record, for your lawyers, for whatever God you pray to in those glass towers." Cut to her pacing a cramped kitchenette, Chihuahua nowhere in sight. I moved your damn mailbox because I could. Started with my husband, Ed, that spineless worm, cheating with the pool boy. Divorced me dry, left me with the house and the hate. HOA was my kingdom, my control. You, strutting in with your Tesla and your fuck you money, reminding me of every man who'd stepped on me. She paused, swigging from flask, cheap whiskey by the burn in her throat. The mail? Genius. I'll give you that. Buried me alive in paper cuts. But you didn't stop there. You exposed me to the board, the town, my own kids who now think I'm a monster. They're right, maybe. I was. AM. Tears track mascara free, but no sob story plea. This was defiance, cracked but unbowed. I'm leaving. Selling the Tupperware stock to pay the debts you helped rack up. Heading to bumfuck nowhere, where no one's got a covenant or a grudge. But before I go, know this. I hacked your Ring feed that night. Saw you watching, laughing over your coffee. You're no better. A king in a castle built on other people's ruins. The video glitched, then stabilized on a freeze frame. Her face, mid-snarl, overlaid with text. Delete this. Or leak it. Your move, CEO. I sat there, steam fogging the mirror, the VC's forgotten. Controversy? This was a grenade with the pin half pulled. Leak it, and I looked like the vengeful villain, toasting her downfall. Bury it, and she owned the narrative, ghost haunting my hard drive. I forwarded it to legal, marked urgent, verify authenticity, advise on suppression. They came back fast, real, unedited, time-stamped legit. Burn it, counsel advised. No upside to engagement. But I couldn't. That night, insomnia gripped like a vice, replaying her words, not the venom, but the vulnerability. Karen Hargrove, the indomitable Karen, broken by her own reflection. It humanized her, damn it, turned my triumph to ash. By dawn, decision made. I drove to Willow Creek, unannounced, the old house gutted for sale sign, swinging like a noose. The rental was easy to find, Rico's cords still fresh. I knocked, envelope in hand, a check for $10,000, anonymous donor style, no strings. Relocation fund, I'd scrawled. Start over. A concerned neighbor. No answer. Peered through the blinds. Empty, dust motes dancing in sunbeams. She'd bolted, true to word. Back home. No. The penthouse. I drafted an email to the neighborhood list. Lessons from the mailbox wars. Let's keep it civil. Went viral again, but softer. Tips on de-escalation, mediation apps, even a plug for community therapy sessions. Vostek sponsored the first one. Attendance packed the clubhouse. The backlash hit quick. X lit up. CO goes soft. Mailbox mercy from the edgelords. Hypocrite. Mail mountain was gold. Crow the compliance junkies. Local op-ed. Voss's redemption arc. Too little too late. Controversy swirled, but this time it stuck. Positive spin. TED Talk invites a podcast deal on corporate karma. My ex caught wind. Texted, proud of you, Alex. Maybe there's hope for us normals. Us? Nah, but the olive branch felt. Right. Karen? Spotted her once, 6 months later, on a Florida beach cam. Thinner, sun-kissed, walking a rescue mutt, no clipboard in sight. No contact, no sequel grudge. She'd won her way. Silence as victory. Me? I kept the thumb drive, locked in a drawer, a reminder that revenge is a boomerang, bitter on the return. Suburbia taught me that, and damn if it didn't make a better man. Or so I thought. Turns out, grudges don't die. They metastasize. A year on, merger season raging, I got a tip from an unlikely source. Ed Hargrove, slurring over burner phone at 2 a.m. She's back, Alex. And she's gunning for you hard. Paranoia spiked. I tripled security, scanned for leaks. It speeded, Karen, reformed. Bullshit. She clawed her way into a rival firm's HOA consulting gig. Yes, that's a thing. Whispering poison about Vostile overreach to boards nationwide. Her target? Willow Creek's sister community, Vostech's new campus build site. Petitions circulated. Block the tech takeover. I flew down, confronted her in a strip mall conference room. Neutral ground, lawyers on speed dial. She looked evolved. Yoga pants, highlights that flask weight shed. Alexander, she drawled, no rasp now. Fancy seeing you slumming it. No chihuahua, no venom, used calculative cool. This isn't personal anymore. It's business. Your company's footprint? It's squeezing out families like mine were. Families? Hers was dust, but her eyes, hard, unblinking, sold the lie. We talked, not yelled first time. She admitted the hack, the hurt. I owned the escalation, the thrill kill. Truce? Tentative. I pulled strings. Campus redesign, green spaces, HOA input baked in. She signed off, pocketed a consultant fee that smelled like hush money. Handshake at the end, clammy but real. Don't make me regret this, she muttered. Wouldn't dream of it. Back in the jet, champagne popped premature. Controversy quelled, deal saved. But Ed's call nagged. Was it theater? Rico tailed her post-meet, clean, no plots. Maybe redemption's a two-way street, paved with return mail and reluctant respect. Or maybe Karen's just evolve into cougars. Either way, I sleep lighter now, mailbox bolted triple time. Life post-truce felt like walking a tightrope over a pit of expired yogurt. Slippery, stinking of potential disaster. But hey, at least it was progress. Vostek's campus broke ground without a single pitchfork parade, thanks to Karen's consulting touch. Playgrounds where parking lots once loomed, community gardens edging the server farms. PR loved it, CEO Voss. From mailbox mayhem to neighborhood hero. Forbes profile incoming, stock humming at record highs. I even dated a venture capitalist named Mia, sharp as a stiletto, who laughed at the story over oysters at Gramercy Tavern. You mailed her to oblivion? Savage. Marry me. Tempting, but trust issues die hard. Especially when your ex-Karen texts at midnight. Board meeting tomorrow. Your input. Input? I brokered the piece. Now she want to play dates? I showed. Zoom from Dubai, jet lag, but curious. Willow Creek 2.0 gleamed. Diverse faces, no pink notices. Karen moderated, voice steady, no barbs. Alex's firm's donation funded the solar panels, she announced, crediting me like a pro. Chat buzzed approval. Post-meet, private DM. Truce holding. Thanks for the check. Bought a food truck, Karen's compliant bites. No hard feelings. Bites? Pun unintended, I hoped. I replied, congrats. Send ribs for the next merger. Seems safe. Weeks blurred. Mia and I weekend in the Hamptons. Mergers merged. Life normalized. Until the glitch. A Vostek intern flagged it. Spam filter pinging odd traffic to my inbox. Not bots. Targeted. Digs into old divorce files. Whispers to reporters about CEO's temper. Footprint? Florida IP, masked but sloppy. Karen? Or copycat? I called Rico. Dust off the Rolodex. Time for tea. He delivered. Surveillance logs, coffee shop cams. Her food truck parked at a rival's lot. Laptop open to dark web forums, exposing corporate Karens. Not me them. She'd pivoted, channeling grudge into a crusade against HOA hypocrites in suits. My name? Buried in footnotes, a case study in escalation. Relief washed, mixed with respect. The woman's a phoenix, rising from ash to roast marshmallows. But the real twist dropped during Mia's birthday bash. Rooftop soiree, skyline twinkling like a bad omen. Ed Hargrove crashed it, uninvited, reeking of bourbon and regret. She's lying, Alex. The truck's a front. She's rallying ex-HOA types for a class action against you. Victims of Voss vengeance. Paranoia reloaded. I slipped away, dialed her bluff. Voicemail. Karen, it's Alex. Heard you're unionizing my nightmares. Call off the dogs, or we revisit old tapes. Click. Radio silence. Then dawn. Her truck torched in a strip mall lot. Arson, cops said. No prints, but her post on X, sabotage. Guess some grudges don't die. Food truck fire. Internet inferno. Justice for Karen trending, tying back to Mailbox Mountain. Reporters hounded. Mr. Voss, any comment on the timing? I stonewalled, tragic, hope they catch the bastard. but suspicion stuck like gum. Mia grilled me over brunch. You didn't? Hell no. But if I did, it'd be cleaner. She laughed, but eyes narrowed. Trust fracture, hairline, but there. Rico dag dieper. Culprits. Id. Drang dialing revenge porn. He'd confessed to the torching, jealous of her glow-up. Cops hauled him. She ID'd him in lineup, stone-faced. Trial fodder. His affair redux, her testimony, a scalpel. He burned more than my truck. He burned us years ago. Acquittal? Nah, guilty, 5 years. She testified in yoga chic, no flask, owning her past without apology. Post-verdict, she cornered me outside court. Your truce saved me, Alex. Gave me the spine to end it clean. Hand extended, not clammy firm. Food truck 2.0, electric this time. Partners. I shook. On one condition, no male involved. Laughter, genuine. First crack in her armor. Controversy? Fizzled to footnote. Media spun from foes to foodies. The Voss-Hargrove Accord. We launched Bite Back Bites. Pop up at tech parks. Menu items like Mailbox meltdown sliders. Pulled pork, spicy as hell. Profit split. She handled ops side the branding. Mia? Warm to it. Even cater a launch. You're collecting Karens now. Teased but proud. Karma Circle closed messy, but complete. Ed rotted in county. Willow Creek thrived. Covenants chill. Karen? Slimmed down. Smiling in truck selfies. Chihuahua adopted back. Me? Penthouse fuller. Mia moved in. Ring shopping whispers. Suburbia's ghost? Banished. Replaced by grill smoke and grudging grace. Turns out, the bitterest ends brew the sweetest peace. Who knew? A year into the food truck empire, and you'd think we'd cracked the code to suburban alchemy, turning spite into sirloin, vendettas into venture capital. Bite Back Bites exploded. Food festivals from Coachella to South by Southwest, our revenge fries, loaded with ghost pepper aioli, because why not burn twice? Going viral on TikTok. Karen handled the grit, sourcing local beef, haggling vendors with that old HOA steel, while I flashed the smile, pitching pop-ups to Silicon Valley lunch crowds. From mailbox wars to menu masters, the headlines cooed. Investors bit. We franchised 3 spots, one back in Willow Creek, poetic justice served sizzling. But peace? It's fragile as a crepe, especially when skeletons rattle. Mia and I were ringside at a Napa vineyard, proposal pending, champagne chilled, when the call came. Karen, voice edged like broken glass. Alex, it's Ed, broke out. He's raving about finishing what he started. Chills spidered. Napa faded to static. Rico mobilized. Ed, paroled early for good behavior, vanished post-release. Last ping. Burner bought in Reno. Queries on Voss Tech weak spots. Not our truck, our empire. He's targeting the franchises, she hissed. Says we'll pay for stealing his life. We locked down. Security cams on trucks, PIs on payroll, board alerts for supply chain sabotage. Controversy loomed. Press sniffing food feud sequel? I played diplomat, statement to Variety. Past is prologue. We're focused on flavor, not feuds. Bullshit, but it bought time. Karen and I huddled in a neutral Starbucks, irony noted, mapping defenses. Her eyes, once lemon sour, now weary. I thought therapy fixed him. Guess some fires relight. Vulnerability again, raw. I admitted, me too. Thought the mail ended it. But your family now, truck or not. Family. Word hung heavy. She nodded, teared up once. Quick wipe back to business. Then let's end this for good. Plan hatched, bait. We leaked a soft target. Pop up in Ed's old stomping grounds. Willow Creek relaunch bash. Rico's team swarmed. I flew commercial, low profile. Night of, string lights, ribs smoking, neighbors toasting to second bites. Karen manned the grill, apron fierce. Mia charmed the crowd, ring finger flashing early. Laughter echoed, almost normal. Then the shadow. Ed, gaunt in a hoodie, slipping through the fence. Cops, ours tipped, nabbed him mid-lunge, tire iron glinting. No harm, just intent. For her, he snarled, cuffed. She burned me. Court swift. Violation, back inside, key tossed. Aftermath? Catharsis. Karen visited him once. Final. Goodbye, Ed. No more ashes. Closure. Hers. Mine? The bash turned wake. Stories swapped. Mailbox lore legend now. Not liability. Empire boomed post scare. Bite back. The unbreakable brand. Book deal incoming. Our co-memoir. From feud to feast. Mia said yes under Aurora lights. Alaska honeymoon. Karen? Best woman. Toasting. To grudges grilled and served. Suburbia? Distant dream, but its scars? Tattoos. Shaping the man who once mailed mountains. Bitter end? Nah. Spicy. Satisfying. With seconds if you dare. In America, that's the real American dream. Revenge redeemed. One plate at a time. And if a new Karen knocks, I'll hand her a menu. Try the true special. It's to die for.